Hello and good day to you. This is Greg Scully with 501 Commons. Real happy to have you here for our training on the GiveBIG platform. We're really happy that you are participating in GiveBIG or are hoping you're going to participate in GiveBIG this year. Whether you're new to it or you've been with us for many years, we really look forward to supporting you in as any way we can to helping your campaign succeed, whatever that success means for you. And to do that, we really need to get you started on the platform. And it is my pleasure today to introduce you to an expert from the Mightycause. It is a company that we partner with to run the GiveBIG campaign. They're the support behind the scenes, so to speak, making all the things happen for you. And so today I have Dawn Nulty here from Mightycause, and she is here to help us understand how to use the platform and to answer some basic questions about it. We'll be going for 1 hour until about 11 o'clock Pacific time. And we'll be here also to answer your questions following the presentation, and we'll provide information on how to get technical support going forward beyond just this. So today I'm going to pass it on to Dawn and let her move forwards with this. Again, use the chat function for questions. I will be forwarding those on to Dawn and making sure that we get all your questions answered. So thanks. On behalf of 501 Commons, thanks for coming. Dawn, it is all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. And just to make sure everyone can hear me and that the chat works, Greg mentioned that you're having some spring-like days right now. So if you want to let me know in the chat what your favorite thing about spring is, then that'll help me out to make sure that everyone can hear what I have to say today. And then also get, first day of spring, get some spring vibes up in here, which is always nice after winter. So, it looks like you need to enable the chat, Greg. This is why we do these things.
Sorry about that. I'll take care of that. Apologies. Yep. Go ahead, Dawn, and I'll get it going.
Okay. So while Greg does that, feel free to still put in your, favorite thing about spring. I'd still love to know that. Like Greg mentioned, my name is Dawn. I am the GiveBIG Washington Gives project manager, and I work with the 501 Commons team to basically get everything off the ground with them, and make sure everything runs as smoothly as possible for you all. We talk through trainings and things like that. On our side too, we just want to make this as easy for you as possible so that you have the most success. Really quickly, for those of you who are new, I just want to tell you a little tiny bit about Mightycause, so you get kind of that bigger picture. But Mightycause has been around since about 2006. We've been serving nonprofits. We're a year-round platform specifically targeted, designed for small to medium nonprofits. So for those of you who are all volunteer, or for those of you who have just reached that kind of like next level, we're here for you. So we offer peer-to-peer fundraising, team event campaigns, donation tools, social sharing, etc. So I'll be going through some of those features that you'll get with the Washington Gives platform and with GiveBIG this year. So I'll be going through some of that a little later, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background around Mightycause, so that you, understood what you were working with. So first we'll go through basics on the GiveBIG program. And what my plan is to stop and make sure that we have lots of time for Q&A. And the Q&A is working. So if you have a question, feel free to pop it in there. And Greg and I will see it. But I'll stop and stop for questions and make sure that everyone has, everything answered. We'll go do a platform walkthrough where I'll show you, what a sort of quote unquote completed page looks like, what a a really nicely filled out page looks like, and then I'll show you the tools of how to actually complete the page on your own. If you're returning, then, you know, this is a nice refresher because your page should look the same as what you had last year or what you use all year round on the Washington Gives platform. But, you know, you have the ability to make changes to it at any time. And then I'll kind of revisit that with you as well. And then, of course, we'll have another Q&A. So Tim has his hand raised. So Tim, if you have a question, I'm happy to take your question.
I don't recall raising my hand. I'm not sure where that came from.
Okay.
I'm having some problems getting the chat function rolling, so sorry about that. Just keep rolling until we get it there.
Okay, that sounds good. In the meantime, please enter in anything that you want us to know about or have questions or anything in that Q&A box because I am seeing those come across. So that is working. Okay, Give Big Basics. So this year's Give Big registration is open and it ends on April 21st. You need to renew your registration each year to continue being on the Washington Gives platform and participating in the Give Big for the current year. So if you haven't registered for 2024 yet, please do so before registration ends in April. Early giving begins just a couple days later on Tuesday, April 23rd. And then the actual Give Big event is going to be May 7th through 8th this year. And for your purposes, when you register, you know, what does your organization need to do? You really want to customize your profile on the Washington Gives platform, and that's what I'll be showing you how to do today. You'll want to plan your fundraising campaign. You want to promote your campaign. You want to invite your supporters, and then of course raise money. So there are lots and lots of resources on the WashingtonGives.org website to help you with the planning, the promoting, the inviting, so that you can do the raising. So there's lots of resources on there. I highly recommend that you check them out now. And Tim's done a great job of putting them in a nice digestible format so that, you know, you can kind of take everything in and figure out what's going to work best for your nonprofit. Since, you know, you don't want to just throw the kitchen sink in there. You want to really plan and strategize around, you know, what are we capable of doing? What are our goals and expectations for this year? And then kind of go from there in terms of the planning and promoting and inviting people to, you know, participate with you. Okay. Registering to participate gets you access to this year's Give Big, as well as year-round access to the Washington Gives platform. So you are more than welcome to continue utilizing, you know, your profile and page and tools on the site past Give Big 2024. You know, not only do you get to participate in the program for Give Big 2024 this year, but then you also get this year-round fundraising access through the Washington Gives platform for the rest of the year until it's time to register again next year. There are lots and lots of free resources to help you grow your nonprofit. So like I mentioned, there's lots of Give Big specific resources. There's fundraising and general resources, Mightycause. As the platform, we have lots of resources as well, webinars, ebooks, blog posts, etc. So, you know, your success is our success, if you will. So we want to make sure that, you know, you're doing some growing in that area as well. So there's lots of free resources to help you grow. Another thing that you get when you register is accessing new donors through TV, radio, print, and social media. Curated by Encore Media Group. So huge, you know, benefit in that area where, you know, your name is being put out in these different avenues to, you know, the general public throughout the state of Washington. So definitely a plus there. Another advantage that you get is discounted advertising rates in the Seattle Times Giving Guide. So another great marketing piece that you kind of get access to by registering, which will allow your organization, your brand, to be sent through the Giving Guide to all of the different subscribers to the Seattle Times. So there's more advantages that you get for registering to participate as well. These are just a few that we wanted to highlight here, but on the WashingtonGives.org website, there's a whole list of additional advantages that you get for registering to participate. Okay. So I'd like to do a platform walkthrough now. But before I do that, I want to invite those of you who can to log in and follow along as I'm going through it. So I have some instructions on how to log in. So if you go to WashingtonGives.org, click login, you can use either the Google or Facebook easy login options, or you can enter in your email and password. If you haven't, if you're brand new, you don't have an account yet, that's fine. You don't, you can just view this. This is recorded. It'll be sent out. So you can always come back later and follow along if you want. Once you have an account. So there's different varying levels of accessibility that people have here. But for those of you that have participated in the past or have an account and have already registered, then I encourage you to follow along because I know a lot of different learning styles. Some people like to kind of do it themselves as we go through. So I wanted to give you that opportunity to take that moment to log in. So if we want to, I'm happy to stop here for a minute while people do that. Greg, if there's any questions that you wanted to call out that others might want to.
Yeah, the only thing is we're using a webinar format today, so you need to use the Q&A, not the chat. I apologize, I had the wrong functionality in there. The chat is set up separately. So I know the only question there is that if an organization has been advertised through TV, print, or social media, how would they know that? Is there something where we need to reach out directly to Encore? No, there's no reason to reach out to Encore. Encore is purchasing the advertising on behalf of the campaign. But you can advertise with what Don was referring to was you can advertise in the Seattle Times Giving Guide. Then there's information on that on the website, or I can send that to you directly, Sarah. So thank you. Go ahead, Don.
Okay, so I'm going to go from here and I'm going to go into the platform so we can just do a little more like hands-on learning. First, I want to show you what a out-of-the-box page looks like, what an out-of-the-box profile looks like. So there's a default banner, there's just a very generic logo in the logo spot. And it's super basic, just a donate and fundraise button, and then some organization data that we pull in from the IRS database. So very simple. If this is what you are able to do, that's fine, right? So add a logo, maybe add a banner, and send this out to people to ask them to donate. So this is an example of the basic out of the box profile that you get. Another example is a more fully completed profile. So you can see this organization has a banner image. They've got their logo in there. And then they have a whole about section as well that has, they've added a header. They have different spacing. They have an embedded video. And then they've added different sections to their profile page as well. So they're showcasing their peer-to-peer fundraisers that are fundraising on their behalf. They've added a media gallery that people can browse through. And then you see the same organization data section as well. They've added a few additional items to it too, to provide some contact information for people to reach out to them. But this is a great example of, an organization that has made their page a little bit more dynamic. So people coming to their page from the, GiveBIG website can, read a little bit more about them, look at pictures, etc., before deciding to donate if they're, not sure. So we always recommend, trying to provide a little bit of information about your organization on your profile page so that, when donors come, especially if, you are advertising in the giving guide, or, you have been included in some of that, the media reach outs and stuff. People are coming to your page and they're seeing information about, who you are as an organization. And then just having the page look a little more dynamic with your logo, and then any pictures that you have available as well. So just a couple examples that we wanted to show you. And then I wanted to also jump into, how do we do those things? So when you first log in, the system will have you take you to your organization account. You can find your account by, you see your name in the upper corner, you can click on that. And then you're under the organization section. You can see your organizations that you're attached to right there in that drop down. So it's pretty simple to get to your actual organization page. But if you ever, kind of lose track of where you're at, you can always navigate back by finding your name and then going to back to your organization page as well. So I am logged in as this user for this sample nonprofit. I'm on my organization page, so it's all on page editing. So you can see I have it out of edit mode. If I wanted to open it up to edit mode, I could click this edit mode toggle on and off. Once it's on, you can scroll down and see all the different places that the system will allow you to edit. You can update your goal at any time. You can hide the goal if you want to make your page more evergreen. The About section will allow you to do lots of different text editing, which is nice. You can bold, underline, italicize. You can have different colors for your text, sizes, etc. You can have different paragraph formats. So you can, instead of just, copying and pasting your mission statement into this About section, you can make it a little more interesting by adding headers and embedding any videos that you have. So you can insert images, insert those videos, and then, there's even more options, a table, emojis, etc., that you can do. And then very important, don't forget to save. So, once you've added something, you can save it. And then, if you're like, what does this look like now? Then you can go back, toggle off edit mode, and then see what the user would see when they land on your profile page as well. Okay, no questions so far on that. The other thing I wanted to point out that is very handy is on pretty much every page within the platform, there's this little support question mark bubble in the lower corner. You can click on that. And this is a really quick way to get to our support forum to find different articles on how to do certain things. The really nice thing about this is that you can browse whatever help topics that you want, but the system will suggest articles based on the page that you're on. So if you're like trying to customize your organization profile page and you click on that support bubble in the bottom, then it'll bring up those suggested articles. So, how do you reset your profile metrics? How do you customize your organization page? And if you click on these, it'll take you to our support forum and that article to help you read through it and then kind of get a few more tips and tricks to, what should I be doing? How do I do it, etc. And then, of course, if you can't find what you're looking for or you still need help, then you can always reach out and contact our support team through that contact button and fill out the information. And then that will automatically get sent to our support team with some additional information too, so that they can help you as efficiently and quickly as possible. Okay. Put it back into edit mode. And then I'm just going to scroll down so you can see there's several different sections that are available to you as well, if you choose to utilize them. So if you are the type of organization who is interested in using, the peer-to-peer functionality that comes with the Washington Gives platform, then you can create a featured campaign, or you can also hide this section if you just want to showcase, your donor timeline for the event, and, different individual peer-to-peer pages, and not necessarily feature a specific one. But there's different sections that are available to you, that you can choose to add or not choose to add. It's totally up to you. And that basically allows you to have your page be as dynamic as possible for people coming and reading about your organization.
Hey, Dawn, we've got a question, and I might have missed
Great.
this. It just showed up. It says, show us where the edit mode is again.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks.
So at the very top of your profile, you can switch it. There's an edit mode toggle, and you can switch it on and off. And then if
Thanks.
it's on, then it will open up the different pieces that you can edit, to allow you to make those changes to your profile page.
Perfect.
Yep. That's a
Thank
great
you.
question. Okay. So again, once you've, made the changes that you want to make, you can toggle it out of edit mode. And then you can see the page as a user would be seeing it, as like a donor would be seeing it. So obviously, they're not going to see this part, but anything underneath that, they'll see. So you can also, kind of collapse your dashboard to see more of that actual, public facing experience. So this is, if I went to this sample organization's profile, this is what I would be seeing as a donor. And, they've added a button, they've added their giving activity, but you can see that featured causes section is now removed, because we hid that while we were in edit mode. So there's lots of different, things that you can do. But you can keep it as simple as necessary, because you can only do what you can do, right? So and these pages can be adjusted and edited at any time. So if you work on it a little now, add in your logo, add in a banner, and then maybe come back 2 weeks later and add in your about section and add headers and things like that. So you can work on it a little bit at a time, as well, to just kind of help it not feel overwhelming. But again, it can be as simple or as dynamic as you're able to do. Okay, so I also wanted to talk through a couple of the tools and additional features that you have outside of this organization page editing. So when you're logged in in your organization account, your dashboard over here shows up, and you have these different tools that are available to you. I highly recommend taking some time to kind of walk through some of these tools, familiarize yourself with where things are located, because that'll help you move around quickly on the platform, as time goes on, especially when we're really down to when GiveBIG is starting. Knowing where things are at, understanding where your most important tools are, will just be an asset for you. The first thing I wanted to show you is the overview screen, where there is a user walkthrough. So this is really handy to go through, because the system will help you see, okay, here's where this is located, here's where that's located. So it kind of points out the more like important features for you to know where they're located. So you have a good idea of everything that comes with your account. If you don't want to walk through it, you can X out of it. If there's any announcements that the 501 Commons team has for you, then those will pop up in your overview section as well. You can go ahead and close and collapse those as you want. This overview section is also it's nice because it has a bunch of stats that you can look at and review. You can adjust the time period for them. So if you wanted to kind of see, if you're a year-round user, you can see, okay, what did I do last month in terms of online donations? What was my highest donation? What was my retention rate? 22 versus 23. So there's lots of different stats that you can see to understand what is the impact I'm having through either the platform as a whole, as if I use it year round, or during the Give Big season. What does that look like? There's also more cards you can add as well, depending on how kind of nitty gritty you want to get into it. And then of course there's a donation chart to help you see, how your organization has done over time as well. So if you're into data and stats and all that stuff, then all that's located on your overview screen, which, all of this information is just going to help you make more informed decisions, as you're able to process it and, depending on the things that you care about. The next item that I kind of want to call a few things out on is the fundraising tool section. So when you go to your dashboard, the fundraising tools are here. And when you click on it, you can see the tiles for them, but you can also access the same things in the dashboard as well. So within this fundraising tool section, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about campaigns, briefly talking about widgets and matching grants. So that, you understand what tools you have. Again, though, I recommend walking through and seeing what else is available because, we have a limited amount of time today. There's tons of tools that come with your Washington Gives registration. And so I'm not going to have time to go through all of them, but there are more available from what we're talking about today. So first, I want to talk through campaigns. Basically, campaigns are going to be the peer-to-peer and also any of, the fundraising campaigns that you might start out that, if you have like a specific initiative or something that you wanted to do during the year or during Give Big, you can start a campaign as well. So you can see here that there's 15 total campaigns and 8 of those are peer-to-peer. So what that means is that there's 8 individuals that are not an admin for your organization that have signed up to fundraise for you and help support you during the Give Big campaign or whenever you're pushing that throughout the year. Within the campaigns section under your fundraising tools, you can come in here and there's some filtering available as well. You can see, if they're published, when they were created and published, the name of the campaign, the type, etc., how much it's raised. And then, if you click these 3 little dots, you can go to that campaign itself. You can turn the visibility on and off. So if it's, something that you no longer want people to be able to see on your profile, if it's completely over or something, then you can turn it into a hidden campaign. You can message the campaign creator. If you wanted to just send somebody a quick message and say, thank you so much for supporting me during this year's Give Big. If you've created any resources for people, you can send them those through the message. I know the 501 Commons team has created a really nice fundraiser toolkit section that I highly recommend you reviewing and walking through yourself so that you can kind of send those things, anything in there that speaks to you over to your anyone that wants to fundraise for you. So there's a few additional tools that you can get to when you click on the 3 little dots on the record for that campaign. You can download a list of all your campaigns. You can start your own campaign through this area as well. But this is a great place to see everyone that's signed up to be a fundraiser, especially if that's kind of the next level that you're wanting to take your Give Big program to. Getting people to sign up for a team. If your board wants to participate as a team, if you have individual volunteers that want to participate by creating individual fundraisers, this section would show all of that for you, so that you can just really keep track of everything and make sure that you're communicating with people in a timely way.
Hey, Dawn,
Yes.
We've got a good question here from Sarah. She asks, how can we hide our history with the amount raised and the number of donors for a fresh start in 2024?
Great question. So any page has the ability to kind of reset the metrics for that page. So if we go back to the organization page, you can see our metrics are all here. If you wanted, you can toggle it into edit mode, and then you can then update when they start calculating. So if you wanted to reset everything back to 0, start your page fresh for 2024, you would just have it start calculating at the beginning of early giving, which is April 23rd. So you'll be able to do that. That said, we will be resetting the metrics for everyone participating in Give Big for this year to start showcasing the dollars raised through the Give Big program. But if you wanted to do it early, you're welcome to do that through this metrics recalculation as well on your profile page. For campaigns, you can do the same thing. The campaign owner can go to their dashboard within their fundraiser, and in the settings, there's a similar type of feature where they can choose when to start calculating, the gifts that are showing up on their page. Any previous gifts don't go away. You can still access them through the reporting for that page. But if they kind of wanted to reset their page to, have minimal work involved in terms of like creating and customizing and things like that, that's totally great. And they can do that through their settings. So there's a couple different areas for organizations. It's on the profile page in that metric section right underneath the donate button. And there's support articles on that as well. So if you wanted to search to find the detailed instructions, you can do that too if you're more of a doer and less of a auditory learner. Good question. The other tool that I just want to call out really quickly is the widgets that you get with your registration and participation in the Washington Gives platform. So the widgets are really nice. There's different types of widget styles, from a mini donation form that takes its cue from the form that you customize, donate button, that's literally just a donate button. So these are really nice because with these widgets, you can actually put them on your website. So if you wanted to, have people either capture people that are going to your website, not necessarily following your instructions, to click on the donate link on your Give Big page, or your Washington Gives page, then the widget's a great way to capture that, because those gifts will get funneled through in the same way that anyone who goes directly to your organization donation form on the Washington Gives website, all of that will be processed the same way. So if you're so inclined, the widgets are nice. You can create one. The system will track, how many people have, how much you've raised through the widget, et cetera. And just it gives you the ability to put something on your site to capture those additional gifts of people who heard about it, but are maybe not going to the right place, and go to your website instead of your profile on the Washington Gives platform. There's a code you can generate once you create the widget that will give you the embed code that you can put on your I forget what all the different website builder names are, Squarespace, or I don't think Weebly exists anymore. I can't remember. I think it got bought out. But anyway, those types of, kind of self-serve websites, or if you have an IT team, if you're a little bit bigger, you can give them the code and they should be able to add it to your website if you wanted to use that. And then lastly, I wanted to just call out our matching grants tool. So this is a great way to, kind of provide a more in-house incentive for your donors. So if you have, if your board puts together a match, if you have a really generous donor who wants to provide a match for people, this is where you would go to build that. It's underneath fundraising tools, matching grants. There's a create button that you then fill out all the information. Most basic place to start, just a one-to-one match, make it really simple. If you are ready to go above and beyond that, there's lots of other configurations that you can take advantage of. And then, as I mentioned before, the support bubble in the lower corner, if you click on that while you're on your matching grants page within your account, then you'll get our matching grants support articles that you can read through and see, is this setting right for me, and decide if that's what you want to do. But again, most basic match, one-to-one. For every $1 donated, for every $10 donated, that donation will get matched by, another $10. So that's the best and most basic way to start with the tool here that's provided. And then once it's live, you'll get a little sticker on your donate button that lets people coming to your page know that there's a live match. And then it's also, you get the live match sticker. I'll go back to the organization page so you can see. You'll get the live match sticker, and then you'll also get, there's tiles at the bottom that show up when you have a match. So, depending on how many matches you have going on at the moment, this is a great way you can screenshot these and share them on your social media to show visually show your supporters, here's how much we have left in our match, help us out. So it's a nice way, because everyone's very visual. So it's a nice way for you to get that out there for people on your socials, to get them to come to your page and give to count towards that match.
So, Dawn, there's a question here that Sally Jo asks, does the organization add the matching amount at the end? So I guess the question is when?
Yeah, great question. So there's a couple ways that you can do it. When you are creating the match, you can include the match value in your page metrics automatically. If you do that, none of that money, none of it's transacted online. It'll just, your profile totals will go up by the amount of the match. So if someone gives $10, your profile totals will increase by 20 if you have that one-to-one match set up. So this is one option. If you do not want to include the match value in the page metrics, let's say you have a donor who's like, yeah, I'll give a match, but I don't want the match to count until everything is matched. And then you want to add the bulk amount at the end, then you can add in an offline gift, or the donor can pay online, depending on what you've worked out with them. So there at the bottom of the creation, there's an email spot where you can put your name, you can put the donor's name, that once the match is satisfied, this person will get an email saying, hey, the match is satisfied. That email will include a link on how to pay online for that match. So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. And there's more information in our support articles too, on different routes people go and the pros and cons of those two. Let's see. Okay, so those are the fundraising tools I wanted to highlight. And then I wanted to highlight a few pieces in your reporting space. So within your account, there's an area called reports. So little self-explanatory, but within the report section, there is an all donations report, which is going to showcase all of your gifts that you've received through the Washington Gives platform. And then I also want to call out your retention report as well. So we'll go into both. With your donation report in general, it's going to default to the last 30 days. But if you wanted to see how much did I raise last year, you can adjust the time period to be whatever you want. And then you're going to have a few stats that are available on the report, but you can download the donation report to get all the information. So you'll get, donor first and last name, the amount, fees associated, what type of gift it was, if it counted towards this year's Give Big, or if it was made, outside of the Give Big program season. You'll get the donor email, the donor address, any additional items that you present to them during the donation process. Those will be on the donation report as well, for you to review. Upload into your own email system, reach out to the donor, give them a thank you card, whatever your process is. Then you'll get all that information in your donation report, located within the reports section. Within this area as well is where you have the ability to add in offline gifts too. So you can add in the offline gifts. You can enter in the information associated with them. And then, add in that gift to your totals. This is just a record. And if you need to edit anything about the offline gift, you'll need to delete it and then re-add it in the time frame. So just something to consider, and making sure you double check everything. But that's where you can go to do that as well.
About offline gifts, sorry, I'm just adding to that. Is there a limit to that? I mean, do they need to have it done by a certain date after?
No. I mean, if you want it to count, which I guess, Greg, I can't remember what the offline policy is for GiveBIG. But
go ahead. I'll send that information out to her,
okay.
to afterwards. So
okay.
I'll give them a link.
Okay. So that's one thing to remember, is, sometimes there's different policies within the actual event versus outside of the event phase, but there's no limit to like when you add, how many you add. It's all, unless you have one of our like higher tier subscriptions, all of it's one by one. So you can add in offline gifts individually. If you have a higher tiered subscription, you can import offline gifts. But for those of you who register and, are part of Washington Gives and, just want the basic functionality, that will definitely be enough to be successful, and you can add offline gifts individually as needed. One thing that everyone also gets is your retention report. So this report is one that I always recommend people reference because it's going to tell you, who gave to my event last year, who has not given this year. So this is a great report to reference once early giving starts, so that you can then come in and easily see, the green means they're retained. If it's red, it means they're not retained. You can download a report of all of the donors that gave during the time period you specify. So that, you can let them know, hey, it looks like you gave this amount last year, but you haven't given yet this year. We'd love to see you back again. So this is a great, kind of information area where you can, have that slightly nuanced communications to your donors, especially those who give larger amounts that you haven't seen come back yet. Like those are especially the type of people you want to reach out to and say, hey, we'd really love for you to make another $1,000 gift this year during Give Big. We could really use your help. Here's what we're doing this year. And here's how your gift would help contribute to that. So the retention report located within your report section is an area that I really recommend visiting. And then, of course, if you have any questions, that support bubble at the bottom will help you, will take you to the support articles associated with the retention report with suggestions on how to utilize it and things like that. Lastly, I wanted to, while we're in the platform walkthrough, I wanted to just kind of point out a few things within your checkout section that you have the ability to customize. So the really nice thing about checkout is it's a great way for you to steward your donor through this gift process. There's a lot of flexibility that you have as the organization. And, that's just going to help the donor get a better relationship with you. If they have a good relationship, checking out on the platform and really see your name, and your, kind of the customizations you've put in place. So I definitely recommend, going to this checkout section and seeing what you want to customize or change, so that, you can do what you can within the platform to really steward that donation process. And then, of course, utilize your normal after transaction processes. So, do you give them a phone call? Do you send them a like a quick note? Do you call them out on social media and say, hey, thanks for giving? Whatever your process is, everyone has different processes. This is a great way to be able to take advantage of some of the tools to do that in the platform as well. So the first is the donation form. So this is the same type of like on-page editing that we saw with the organization profile. So you've got that edit mode toggle in the upper corner where you can toggle it on and off and see what the user will be seeing. You can add in suggested donation amounts. We recommend 4 to 6. If you want to add more, you can, but it gets really overwhelming for the donor. If they see like, 10 or 20, which I have seen before, and it is slightly alarming. So 4 to 6 is the recommended amount. And then, from here, you can have your suggested donation amounts. You can add in descriptions for those suggested donation amounts to really let people know what their gift, does for your organization. Of course, donors can add in whatever amount that they want as well. You can also choose to add in, if you wanted to allow people to add dedications, or if you have designations you want to add as well, then, you have the ability to add in those sections as options for your donors to fill out. With our higher level subscription, you do have the ability to add in custom questions. So, if you wanted to add in anything extra and you are a subscriber, then that's great. Most people don't necessarily need this function, so you definitely do not have to do that to have a really awesome donation form for your donors. This section down here is just for visual purposes so that you can see what exactly your donors will see. If you switch it off of edit mode, and then you can scroll down and see, this is what my donation report looks like, or my donation form looks like. The other nice thing I wanted to call out is this: if you click copy direct donate link, this will copy your organization's donation form link, which then you can send out via email, you can send out on your social media. And so it's a super easy way. I mean, obviously, you have the if you go to the donation form within your profile and copy the URL there, but this is a very easy way for you to just click it. It's copied and you can share. So I just wanted to call that one out really quickly too. The next thing I wanted to call out that, and this is probably the most important thing that I think I recommend spending some time on, is the thank you page. So this page shows up after your donor has completed their gift. So the transaction's gone through and then the donor's presented with this page. So, thank them for donating. This is a great place for you to be able to continue that relationship building with them. You can embed videos, you can add images. Like some people like to have, a quick video of their staff saying thank you, or a picture of them holding a sign that says thank you, that they then put on this thank you page within this section. So there's lots of different options that, you have for this. But I highly recommend spending a little bit of time here just to really take them through that completing the donation process and showing them that you're grateful for their gift. Okay. And then lastly, the very last place that, you can kind of customize that process is you do have the ability to add a quick little customized message to the donor's receipt as well. So, probably the most important thing I would focus on is that thank you page that donors get. But if you wanted to add in a quick little like, thank you so much type of message within the receipt, then you can definitely do that here under this donation receipt section. And you can see here, where it shows up. on there. And then underneath would be all the tax deductible information that the donor receives. And then you can send yourself a test receipt as well, so you can see exactly what it'll look like and decide, oh, I want to make some adjustments here. Oh, that looks great. Depending on, what you prefer. That is what I wanted to show for the platform walkthrough. Greg, do you have anything else, or were there any other questions before I go back into the presentation?
So far, no other questions, but keep going. You're doing great.
Okay, well, let me go back to our slideshow. Okay, so before we are done for today, I wanted to just reiterate to everyone, or tell everyone how you can get support. So for technical support, I've mentioned that gray support bubble a couple times. So please feel free to click on that. It's going to recommend support articles, which is super handy. It's going to allow you to search support articles. It's going to allow you to click that contact button on there that will allow you to submit a ticket directly to the support team. That is probably the best way to submit a ticket, because we get a lot of additional information from that, that tool that allows our support team to answer a lot of basic questions. So we don't have to send 6 emails saying, okay, who are you? What organization are you with? And blah, blah, blah. So that's probably the best way. But you can also submit a ticket to whatgives@mightycause.com as well. And that will also get sent to our support team who is here to help you. So that is the first avenue of support that I recommend that you go through. If there are any questions that our team might not know, or that would make sense to escalate to the 501 Commons team, that's when we'll kind of engage their help in terms of any questions that you're asking that we might not have the information for. But we've been doing this a couple years with you all now, so there's not a whole lot that needs to get sent up to them. So first line of support is sending in that email, or submitting a ticket via that support bubble through your account. The support forum, the support.mightycause.com, that is where you can go to our whole support forum and search different support articles, things like that. And get, whatever answers you would like from there. And then we also have phone support too, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Eastern, and our phone number is there as well. I would say email is definitely best as first line, because that gives us a lot of information that we don't have to spend time with you hashing out. But obviously, we want to be able to provide phone support, because everyone likes to talk to a human every now and then, and there are lots of humans that work at this company. So you're welcome to utilize phone support too, as needed, but we do get the most information out of email support when you're able to send that in as well. Okay. I think we answered all the questions during the presentation. Were there any that I believe that everyone has access to all of the answered questions. But were there any that you wanted to call out as important in case people aren't paying attention to the Q&A?
It's the Q&A we need to use. Sorry, but we're using a webinar, and so we don't use the chat function. Sorry about that. So any other things? We've got Dawn here online, and I'm here, and Tim is here from 501 Commons. So any other questions you have about the platform, offline giving, how to get tech support, put that into the Q&A section, and we'll answer that.
Looking through some of the questions that were asked.
I would say the main thing that we just want to make sure that you register and get that part taken care of first. I think where we've run into challenges before is when people wait until the last minute to register. So it's just, please, the sooner you can do that, the better for you, because then you'll be able to utilize the platform and get it all ready for donations.
Yes. So if you have not registered yet, if you just go to waggives.org, there is a register button here. You can also in the header, there's a registration option there. So a couple different places for you to go in to register. I'm actually going to log out because I have a different view than some of the other people. But if you click on registration, then it'll take you to the registration page where you can find out more information. There's a another Platform Basics webinar up here as well. And then a little bit more information about, what you get when you register, and, different types of peer-to-peer stuff, as well as the nonprofit toolkit, and all of the great resources there. Of course, in the header, if you wanted to access the tools and resources there as well, or if you have any questions about eligibility and fees, that's, you can access the drop down from there too. But once you're on, once you click that registration, you can register today, and it will take you to the information page where you can scroll down and then start the registration process for this year's GiveBIG, and then also access to the platform for the rest of the year.
Good. Dawn, a couple questions. First one is, it's from Nikki. She says, can we adjust the padding on the text next to pictures or embedded videos? It looks like the text was right next to it in the sample.
Yeah, so on the sample, I had the dashboard bumped out. So it looked, the spacing looked a little wonky because I was in the account, and I'll show you what you're talking about. So yeah, so the spacing is, but if you collapse the dashboard, you can adjust the spacing a little bit with the different sizes of the text, or if you wanted to add the video somewhere, but you can see with the dashboard visible, you can see the like things are lined up a little slightly differently. So for that full effect look, I would recommend collapsing the dashboard so you can see what people will see. And then of course you can always log out, look at your profile, and then log back in. We just have that on-page editing to try and make it a little easier for you to be able to see what other people will see.
Sounds good. The next question I have is somebody said, Jennifer had asked, we registered a couple of weeks ago, but have not yet received an invoice for the registration payment. When should we expect to get that?
So that's a great question. The receipt, when you pay at the time, the receipt gets sent right after the registration goes through. So I would check your spam to see if maybe it went there. If you cannot find it, I would email the support team, waggives@mightycause.com, and they'll be able to track that down for you to either resend it to you or give you the next steps on what needs to happen in order for you to be able to, do what you need to do.
Yep. And Cassandra just wrote in. She said, "Thank you for the great information and influence the choice. Their nonprofit is registered and ready to go. Yay! Congratulations."
Awesome.
Others?
Well, that's all that I had for today, Greg.
That's great. That's great. Anything else? Go to the order, folks. I don't see any other questions. Anything else? We've just got, it is exactly 11 o'clock straight up. We have one that's Nicole wrote, they've registered and paid, but believe there's another step. Can we guide them through that? Not sure Dawn could do that right at this moment, but I would say possibly, this is from Nicole. I would say reach out to the tech folks there, just send them a message and see if there's any other steps.
I would also reference your confirmation email too, because there's a lot more information in that, thanks for taking the first step of registration email than last year. So I would reference that because I believe you're referencing the to-do list, which you can find on your profile page. There's a to-do list icon up here, and it will let you know what's required, what's recommended, what's not required. You can, so I think that's what you're referencing. So again, I would check the email because that's going to give you the most information on next steps. But if you're still not sure, then I would contact support, and they'll be able to help you out with the specifics in a more than a rushed way.
One more question here, Dawn, is do donors need to do anything special if they have a company match?
Not on the site, but they should follow their normal company match guidelines
Yeah,
that they have.
yeah. Unless they have something that's got a match on it. I think does not show up at the end. I'll get back to Laura on that. Laura also asked, does that automatically? Yes, I think that she answered your question, Laura. Anything else, folks? Have any other questions? So we'll be sending out can we send the slide deck out to folks, Dawn?
Yeah, so I can work with Tim, and we can include the recording, the slide deck, whatever you guys want in that tools and resources area, or wherever you want on the site. So it'll be available for you to review again if you'd like, as well as the slides too.
Yep, perfect. All right. Thank you all for joining us today. Appreciate it very much. And do stay in touch. We're excited that you're joining us for Give Big this year. And any other questions, please reach out to Mightycause, first line defense there. And if there's other things, they will send them over to us at 501 Commons. We're happy you're here. And thank you very much for joining us today. And look forward to working with you and for a successful Give Big in 2024. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.